more just your thoughts on the match. What did you make of that one?
Disappointing to lose is probably my first thought. I thought we were excellent in patches tonight. I thought we went toe to toe, with the best team in the comp. Thought we played some really good stuff. The game's 1-1 at that moment, and we lose a player, and then it became into a bit of a chaotic game towards the end. But up until that 60-minute mark when we lose Darryl, I thought we were very, very good. For a result of some sort, probably the win. I thought we were great without the ball at times, and I thought that with the ball there were some really nice passages, and just disappointing to get nothing for it.
A few key moments in the match. What did you think with the penalty that got taken away, the red card, things like that?
The first, moments to talk about should be about young, Jordan Boss, one of the best players in his position in the country. His finish was world class. That's probably the first thing to talk about. Another one of their goals, a bicycle kick. It's a hell of a finish. And then the other ones, the penalty. I haven't watched it back yet, so I'm gonna save my comment on that. But I would say I've had staff and people that are watching the game say it was quite soft. So I'll have to review that properly. And obviously the fourth one, we're chasing the result then, and we're throwing everything at it because that's what we do. We've got big belief, we've got big character, and we won't roll over. And I thought my players kept playing till the end.
For you to get that equaliser, the man down, what does that say about the spirit of the side?
Yeah, it's another moment where the character's definitely on display. We were 2-0 down here to Sydney and come back to 2-2, 2-0 down away to Wellington and came back to 2-2. The belief and character I certainly don't think is in question in that dressing room. There's a really good synergy building between the players, but we still need to improve. And I know I keep saying that week in, week out. I think tonight's a really good example of why we need to improve in moments. We need to eradicate mistakes, and those mistakes can cost you points, and tonight it did.
Cameron Cook had a couple of mistakes. One in the stroke of half time. It almost cost you guys. The punch ended up costing you with Lecky's goal there. Just when you make those mistakes.
Again, it's a collective. I know that sounds like a bit of a cliche, but it is. There are many reasons it's important to go through a really strong process of analysis before you start pointing fingers at mistakes for individuals. I'd say that, I can't remember exactly which goal, but there was a goal where there was a foul up on halfway that wasn't a foul. Then there was a handball that didn't get given, that was a handball. There are moments where defenders could have, broke up transitions. There were moments where we could have defended the play that led to the corner better and maybe not considered the corner. So there are a lot of small moments where players make decisions, and I think Cookie was part of the end of that process, and obviously, could do better with that one. I'm sure he'll want to do better, but I certainly don't look at it like it's a Cameron Cook mistake that cost us. I think we just have to be better collectively.
Ruben, with the score at 1-1, did you feel quite comfortable? Did you feel like the game was progressing in a satisfactory manner?
Against City, you're never really comfortable, and even when you're on top, they have the players and the calibre of talent that can make you pay at any moment. But I would say that we were definitely toe-to-toe with them, and if they're the best in the comp, I think tonight was a really good example of, in patches, what we're capable of. And once we continue to build and continue to grow through the windows and players really settle into their roles and we get clarity in more transition moments, I think we'll become a great team. And I think, tonight, for the most part, up until when we lost a player, I think that was on show.
Aside from the Lecky goal, which kind of came out of nowhere, it looked like the defence actually did a pretty good job of handling the Melbourne City front three. What did you think?
Yeah, again, well, if you analyse up until the red card and losing a play, that's probably the most relevant part to analyse first of all from our point of view. I would say we didn't give them that many clear-cut chances. There were a few shots from around the edge of the box and from distance, but I would say that we limited them to very few clear-cut opportunities, and that's a good testament to how we're defending as a team. And I thought that for the most part we defended really well. But again, moments do change games, and there are some mistakes that we have to eradicate if we want to be a top team.
Just said that you're a very unique team to play against. That's something you're trying to do, bring something a little bit different to the competition, to be that sort of point of difference to a lot of the other teams and the success they've had and doing things your own way.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say... It's certainly not about me trying to do, implement something that shows who I am. It's more about us becoming a great team and a great club, and there are some processes which I'm very clear on sticking to, and I do want us to play free flowing and have it's a nice compliment, I guess, to be called unique, because that's the beauty of football, is that we've got our own set of players, we've got our own set of principles. We're really trying to hone in on that improvement. I think, again, in patches we were great, but not good enough to get the result in the end.
You've often talked about being part of the process, but it must be pleasing to be able to go toe-to-toe with City so early in what is still your first year in the role, to be going toe-to-toe with the top team, and to be disappointed that to be on the receiving end of a 4-2 defeat. That's massive progress.
Yeah, our guys in the dressing room and even on the pitch afterwards, there's a lot of frustration and a lot of animosity and a lot of anger and a lot of disappointment. I think that's a real positive in the end, even though I'm trying to direct them into going and see the fans. I thought our fans were fantastic again tonight. And again, a cliche comment, but they're very loyal fans and they've stuck by us in a very tricky time. I thought they were excellent tonight, and they really helped the boys on. And then the disappointment that the players have is they want to win, not just for themselves but also for the crowd that turned up. And it felt like there was a few extra things against us tonight, which may have contributed, and I could definitely sense the frustration from my players. But they're winners in that dressing room. They're winners. They're not happy when they lose, and we just have to go back to the training ground now and improve and keep growing.
With Darren now being suspended and also Jordan being fairly new to the role, do you think there might be a bit of a headache there during the week to see if you can make any changes offensively?
One man's loss is another man's gain. We've just had some fantastic news this week and re-signed young Jacob Muir, homegrown Perth talent, very young, very good, comfortable ball-playing centre-back. He can come into the fray. And obviously Johnny Katrumbis is another one who can play in that back three. So, look, we've got some cover there, and I expect someone else to step up and fill the void that Darryl leaves. But again, I haven't looked at the incident yet, but obviously disappointing to lose a player to a red card, and from all accounts it seemed a little soft.
So what were those extras you were talking about?
Let me answer the question with a question. You guys get paid to have opinions as well. What do you think?
I think there are some questionable things.
From?
Definitely.
Well, if you guys can't say it, then there's no point trying to get me to say it. But the fact that we're talking about it makes it pretty obvious. It was a game where I thought our fans and our members were great. They were the extra man for us, and it's probably the first time I've seen 12v12 in football. But again, another learning experience for myself.
But just on that, there's that, those little incidents that may have gone against you in this game, that builds a little bit of a siege mentality, that will sort of us against them, and a mindset between the playing group, as you say, with the frustration of yourself as the coach, that feeds into the fans as well. So potentially there is a longer term benefit to that in terms of what you're trying to build moving forward.
Yeah, for sure, in a rebuilding process, fight and character is really, really important. That was clearly on show tonight, and at every turning point, at 2-1 down and losing a man, we were brave and got on the ball and started playing. I thought we had the better of the play for the next 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it was leading into our equaliser. Fantastic ball from young Keegan Jelicic, another one that we've re-signed. For me, one of the standout talents of the league, full stop, irrelevant of age. He's a player that's got a massive, massive future at international level. He will have New Zealand and Australia chasing him, I'm sure, and that's a massive positive for him to keep getting forward, a man down, and keep dribbling at people and keep driving at people. It's testament to his character, but the team also, and then hell of a ball, hell of a finish from Dave Williams. So I think in that moment we showed a hell of a lot of character and a hell of a lot of quality as well, and put the two together. Disappointing, I tried to make a double substitute after it went to 2-2, and I've asked the fourth official, next out please. He fumbled on the board for, I think, 2 or 3 stoppages before the sub was made, so I'm not sure how that process works. I actually don't know. I'll have to go through the review process of referees and ask some questions, because I'm not sure if I say next out please, does he have to stop it, or are we actually waiting for him to type it into the... I'm not sure how that process works. What I can say, very frustrating, because that in the end resulted in a couple of stoppages, ended up in a corner, and then conceded the goal. Then at 3-2 down, we get on the front foot again and start having chances and taking it to City a man down, and that's for me shows that there's a huge belief in the dressing room, and there's also a lot of quality in moments. We just have to improve. We just have to keep getting better, and we have to keep working really, really hard. And it's not going to be easy. I'd say we've still got a hell of a lot of work ahead of us, but I believe that towards the back end of the year and definitely into next year, definitely after the next window, we can be a top team. Cheers, guys. Thanks.